Welcome to Ongerup Football Association's Round 9 wrap for Saturday, June 23, 2018. I'm Gary Bartholomews. With me is Association President since 2001. Good morning, Kim Parsons.
Good morning to you, Gary, and morning to your listeners.
Until Saturday, Kim, Naranggarup's previous league game loss was against Jerramungup in round 1 last year, but Boxwood Hill changed all that on the weekend.
They did, which was a bit of a surprise to me. It's certainly not the way I tipped it, but gee, how accurate was the kicking in that game. Incredible, those scores, but we'll get onto that a bit later. But the other game was pretty close until the last quarter as well, so a good round of fixtures.
Yes, it was. We'll start off at Boxwood, where in the juniors, Naranggarup 10-5-65, Boxwood Hill 8-6-54, which is very high scoring for juniors, 11-point margin to Naranggarup in that. Rowan Hodgson for the Bulldogs kicked 3 goals, and for Boxwood Hill, Harry McLeod kicked 4. The best for Naranggarup, Murray Haywood, Campbell Johnston and Tiara Hodgson, and for Boxwood Hill, Mitch Murdoch, Judson Lowson and Liam Morgan. In the reserves game, this was a 54-point win to the home side. Boxwood Hill 14-10-94, Naranggarup 6-4-40. The major goal scorers for Boxwood Hill, Richard Carpenter 4, Jared King 3 and Noel Keddin 2. For Naranggarup, Dwayne Punch kicked 4. Best for Boxwood Hill, Jeremy Nelson, Noel Keddin and Brett Plain. And Naranggarup, Eddie Brown, Alexander House and Jaden Pickett. In the league clash, Boxwood Hill 17-2, 104 to Naranggarup 13-4, 82, the margin 22 points. Goals for Boxwood Hill, Shane Davey 5, Rowan Vauxx and Hayden Richter finished a big week and both kicked 2 each. For Naranggarup, Stanley Long Turner 4, Craig Bolton and Nathan Wilmot kicking 3 each. For Boxwood Hill, Glenn Peacock, Isaac Baum, Alex Baum and Ed Moyer in the best, and for Naranggarup, Zach Walsh, Scott Anderson and Tyler Cordwell the best.
Yeah, and a really good game of footy, that one, and obviously it was 1 in the second quarter. Box would have kicked 8 goals to 1 in the second quarter, and that's 8 goals, 1, incredible kicking there. You know, they kicked 17-2 and 13-4. Amazing kicking, a perfect day for footy, but good to see Glennie Peacock in the best players for Boxwood and Zach Walsh for Naranggarup. A couple of young blokes have been around since I've been president, I reckon, even before. But
this is their reincarnation, mate.
It must be. Glennie Peacock's been a very good servant of carnival footy, and Zach Walsh, obviously, country footy's been around for a while. But good win for Boxwood down. Been a while since I've beaten them, and they're certainly very happy with their win, and that's so they should be too, because I don't think too many of us would have tipped Boxwood to beat Naranggarup, and whether Naranggarup had any out, I don't know. I've been told they were, you know, most of them play. Stanley Long Turner's back in there kicking 4, and Tyler Caldwell obviously, you know, playing, and they're better players, so when they're in there and thereabouts, you expect them to be, you know, the side to beat, but with the 2 Bourne boys playing really good footy at the moment, and you know, you could only say it's a great win from Boxwood, and certainly they will definitely stay in the 4 now, and it makes everyone believe that Naranggarup can be beaten. But a bit of a surprise to me, but well done to Boxwood, and Naranggarup will bounce back. There's no doubt about that.
At Newdigate, in the juniors, Lake Race Pingerup winners over the home side 15-21, 111 to 1 goal, 1-7, the margin 104 points. The best for Lake Race Pingerup, Lucas Robinson, Lincoln Eaton and Ryland Gooding. And for Newdigate, Soren Humphreys, Piper Hall and Ryan Hams. In the reserves, Lake Race Pingerup winning this one as well, a 90-point win, 14-12-96 to Newdigate, a 1 goal straight 6. The major goal scorers for Lake Race Pingerup, Jackson Calopi 5, Trivan Davey and Damon Pellin both 2. Sole goal kicker for Newdigate was Dwayne Beaver. The best for Lake Race Pingerup, Jackson Calopi, Aaron Carruthers, Marcus Hunt, and for Newdigate, Douglas Giles, Tyson D. Landgraft and Bryce Sinclair. In the league encounter, Newdigate winners 17-11, 113 to Lake Race Pingerup 9-9-63, the margin 50 points. Dean Rintle 6 goals for Newdigate. Chris Wollaston, Harvey Lynch and Darcy Thompson each kicked 2 as well for the Lions. For Lake Race Pingerup, Alex Duckworth 3, Chris Poot 2. And the best for Newdigate, Darcy Thompson, Trent Dinardi and Dean Rintle. And for Lake Race Pingerup, Alec Regan Smith, Chris Poot and Rowan Trevennan. Now the game comment here, a typical bruising derby where both teams wrestled for dominance. The Lions, with a little more polish and class, grinded out a hard-earned win.
Yeah, and my spies tell me Dean Rintoul is the difference in this game. Had a huge game, they said, and kicked a massive goal late in the game. And good to see Dean Rintoul playing good footy. He's had a lot of injury troubles over the last couple of years, and he's a massive man. And when he's on song, he's pretty hard to stop. He's quick and he's powerful. But Lake Grace Pingerup apparently right in it until the last quarter, and then Newgate class just shone out. They've got a couple of good travelling players, and they've run away with it in the end. But Lake Grace Pingerup, certainly in the games, have been very competitive all year. And Newgate, I thought, might have won this game. Newgate very strong. They've got the travelling players, and good win for them. But Lake Grace Pingerup will be up and about again in the next week or two as well, I'd say.
The OFA, football the way it used to be. We move on to ladders, and in the juniors we have on top Jerramungup, unbeaten so far in 7 encounters, 28 points. Second, Narangarup 20, Boxwood Hill third 16, and two lower sides on 4 points. Lake Race Pingerup in fourth, and in fifth Newdigate, Kim, for the juniors. Yeah,
and it's a bit unusual to see Lake Grace, not winning many games in the juniors. We've said it most weeks, but all the little kids, at least they're having a go, and that's all we really care about. As long as they're out there running around and playing sport, I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. In the reserves, Boxwood Hill, they're unbeaten in the reserves on 28 points after 7 games. Lake Race Pingerup second with 16 points. Narangarup third 12. Fourth Newdigate on 12, and fifth Jerramungup on 4.
Yeah, last year's premiers, Jerramungup in the reserves, and struggling this year, but it's definitely a numbers thing, and I think Boxwood have got plenty of numbers, and they've got some older guys that have putting the club first, come back to help the young fellas out, and really good to see when you've got those older guys step up, and it's good close competition at the top there, but at this stage Boxwood look like the team to beat.
In the league, Narangarup losing their first one on Saturday, stay on 24 points. Newdigate up to 20 in second. Third, Boxwood 16. Fourth, Jerramungup on 8, and 4 points to Lake Race on the bottom.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting when Jerramungup and Lake Race meet one another again, next time, because it'll probably determine the outcome of the 4. But looking forward to the clash when Newdigate and Narangarup play next time. Didn't think Narangarup were going to be beaten this year, but I think Newdigate will see that result and give themselves a fair shot at Narangarup as well. But you just don't know with Narangarup, if they can get all their players back at the one time, we've said time and time again, they've got so many avenues to goal, and, Stanley Longturner can bob up and kick 4 or 5, and Bud Stewart kicks a few. They're just, if they're all there, they seem to be pretty strong, but good win to Boxwood and a bit surprising to me, so we'll see how it unfolds. We'll
find out this time next week after the Narangarup or Newdigate clash this weekend, but if we do the top goal kickers first, please.
Yes, with Big Dino from Rintoul from Newdigate bagging 6 on the weekend. He jumps to the top of the ladder with 22. Then Shane Davey, who's played most of his footy in the back line for Boxwood, with 5, goes to 19. Then we've got 2 players on 17. Craigie Bolton Jr. from Narangarup and Jared Offer from Newdigate Football Club. And then Damon Stewart from Narangarup on 15.
The fixtures for Saturday, round 10, the NAIDOC round, Boxwood Hill in third spot with 4 and 3 versus Jerramungup fourth with 2 and 5, and the first series Boxwood by just 2 points.
And I think Boxwood are obviously in pretty good form after their win on the weekend, and I think they, at home against Jerramungup, could be too strong for Jerramungup. Jerramungup just don't seem to have the depth at the moment, but these two sides, it's a traditional derby, and they certainly go hard at it with each other, but it'll be close, but I think Boxwood could be too strong down at Boxwood.
Narangarup top with 6 and 1, up against Newdigate second with 5 and 2 in the first series. Narangarup by 11 points.
And that's as in Narangarup too, isn't it, Gary? Am I right there?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think at home, this will be a cracker of a game, and I think if Newdigate have got all their players on board, they're a big, strong team, but there's a bit of pace at Narangarup, and dropping a game, I can tell you, Christian and the boys won't be too happy over there, and they'll certainly be snapping at it next week against Newdigate, and they should bounce back to the winners. But Newdigate's size could worry them, and it all depends on the weather a little bit. But I think this will be real close, a hard one to pick, and that could go either way.
The Lake Race, of course, having the bye. OFA's Luke Bairstow, Isaac Baum, Jaden Brooks and Chris Wollaston represented the New Holland State Countryside in Kalgoorlie on Saturday, June 16, against the Goldfields Football League All-Stars side at Sir Richard Moore Oval, winning by 38 points, Ken.
Very huge effort, isn't it, from a small league like ours and population to have 4 players in that state countryside. Obviously comes down to availability. There might be some other guys out there that deserved of a shot and couldn't get their time off, but well done to those guys. They travelled up there together, which was good to see, and I saw them on their way home from Kalgoorlie last weekend, and they had a good time up there, and it's a tremendous effort, and I think Jaden was even mentioned in the better players, and Lukey, so great effort from those 4 guys. And
let's add Jordan McAllister to that too. He plays in the Ravy District Football Association, of course, but was a part of the OFA last season and also played up there in Kalgoorlie.
Yeah, it's a pretty good effort from 5 guys from out of this region, that's for sure.
The OFA, grassroots footy at its best. Now, Naranggarup's Robbie Miniter was bestowed the Order of Australia Medal at the recent Queen's Birthday Honours for service to the WA Indigenous community. Big effort. It
is a big effort, and he certainly had an impact on some of those young people, boys and girls' lives, and let's hope he continues on in the work that he's doing.
Sad to hear about the shock passing of Lake Race Pingarup's Peter Rokins from a heart condition on the day after his 36th birthday. Condolences must go to wife Tamika and children Braxton, Kelsey and Jordan.
Yeah, a huge shock to the whole community, and a young man of 36, it's just not fair that it's, unfortunately one of those things, and it certainly does bring the whole life back into reality. Football's only a part of a game, isn't it? And the rest of it is a much bigger picture than just playing sport.
Peter played in the Great Southern Football League Reserves Premiership for Railways in 2003. Now, just covering the Great Southern Colts Carnival in Coolin last weekend, our boys stood up really good in game 1, lost by just 2 points to Esperance after, I believe, leading most of the day. Luke Henderson, 4 goals, and the best 4 OFA, Braden Ritalik, Sean Hodgson and Hayden Richter.
Yeah, we're very unlucky to lose that game. We led the whole game until the last 5 minutes. Esperance kicked the goal and got in front, and we kicked one to get back, and then with minutes to go, they managed to get another one and steal it. But a really good effort. The kids certainly tried hard, and that's every one of them that was there. And the numbers that we had this year were absolutely fantastic. They have 25, 6 kids go up there. We've struggled with numbers in the past, and all those young men that made themselves available, I really do truly thank them.
The game 2, lost by 199 points to Great Southern Storm. Our best were Zane Robinson, Hayden Richter once again, and Blair Watson.
Yes, we were completely outclassed. The Great Southern Storm had been beaten in their first game by Peel, and I think they were really snappy about that. They just came out, their intent and their attack on the ball and the player, and they hit the ball. If there was anyone in their way, they ran straight through them. And the young men from the OFA did not know what hit them, and it was a tremendous display from the Storm kids, but far too strong. But our guys kept trying right to the end, but just were outclassed.
And in the 7 versus 8 final on the Sunday, OFA won this one against Eastern District by 15 points. Luke Henderson, another 3 goals, and the best Cody Harris, Blair Watson and Zane Robinson.
Yeah, and they thoroughly deserved that win too. They'd tried, just lost that first game, really belted in the second one, and they come up on the Sunday morning fairly early too, and to get a win for the weekend. It makes the effort that they put in, and the time they give us to come up there, it makes it worthwhile for those kids, and they definitely go away with remembering their last game, that's for sure.
And umpires voting, 4 OFA players were featured in that. Hayden Richter with 10 votes, Cody Harris 7, Luke Henderson 3 and Tate Barrett 1. And of course Hayden Richter was the sole OFA player selected in the Great Southern 20.
Yeah, he had a great carnival. His determination and hard work, it certainly stands out. There was other good players as well, the 2 Ritalik boys, but they were all pretty. They all tried and gave their best, and that's all we can ask on a weekend like that.
I don't know if you're aware, Kim, on the same weekend, Ongerup Junior Football Association, coached by Lake Race Pingrup's George Chirkop, was undefeated in the 3 games it played.
Yeah, I did know that, Gary, and that's a tremendous effort from those young fellas too.
Absolutely. OFA league training tomorrow night?
Yes, league training in Ongerup. Let's hope that everyone turns up for 6 o'clock training run, and then a bit of a sausage sizzle after. And as long as we get the numbers and start, we've had good numbers submitted. As long as they all turn up, we don't have too many injuries in our last week. Okay,
and of course the deadline for clearances is this Saturday, Kim. That's Australia-wide, if you like, but just a reminder for everyone.
I think you'll be the one that'll be keeping an eye on that. You know, I think we know pretty well there'll be a couple of clubs seeing a couple of extras, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next week.
Anything else?
No, that's about it from me. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Kim Parsons. Until next week, this is Gary Bartholomew wishing you all the best in shooting for your goals.